Evening, everybody. Welcome to another Arcadia Roundtable speed run. It's a short one today, so we're on a speed run of Arcadia Roundtable, but there's quite a bit to talk about, quite a bit to get into, and it should be a good one. So, joining me today, Gamzly is really there. He looks like his forehead veins are about to explode, so I best let him go first. Gamzly, how you doing?
God damn it. It's a problem. You know what I mean? I'm so white that the veins just pop out of my face. I see you still got me a little bit centered here, so that's nice. That's good news. Nothing's changed there, so I applaud you for that. It's raining balls outside still, guys. Like, it's still raining, and I hate it. I don't like this weather. But that's enough fucking around. How are you, Asa? You doing good?
No, it's not raining balls over here. I don't have tea. I've got ginger beer and nothing else today. And the weather has been nothing but sunshine, so I would swap with you in an instant. I'd rather have it raining balls. But
why?
Because the sun is
rain
warm
in your head all the time?
and uncomfortable.
Raining is comfortable?
Well, yeah, and it sounds nice, especially if you're like indoors. Rain's good. It's good weather. I like the extremes more. Give me like a massive thunderstorm, some snow and shit like that. Maybe some like lava dripping from the sky. But this would do.
Wow, you're in a mood today, huh? Luke, we're in for a slow one.
Luke, rain or sun, and how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. It's been a busy week, but good to be here. And been playing some games. That's always good.
Oh, what a treat. What a treat.
Treat.
So happy we're playing games, honestly.
Let's talk about some of them. Obviously, one of the main topics of today is going to be all about Doom, and we've all put a reasonable amount of time into Doom, so we will come on to that and talk about that. But besides Doom, Luke, have you been playing anything else?
Yeah, I've actually been trying to stay away from Doom a little bit. So I have played it for a couple of hours, but I really want to get Expedition 33 finished. So I've mainly been playing that, actually, rather than Doom. And I put in a good chunk of hours last night and then this morning as well. I'm really, really enjoying that. So I don't know how far I'm definitely over halfway, I think. But yeah, it's a special game.
Is it? I haven't started it yet. I will be starting it very soon. Very soon. I've just been waiting on my connection, which obviously you don't need to play Expedition 33, but you do need it for streaming it and all the rest of it. So that's on my to-do list for very soon. But you're quite enamored with it then. You put in a bunch of hours and you love it.
Yeah, it seems to get better, actually, the further you go in. Like, even, 15, 16 hours in, they're introducing new things in the battle system, and the pacing's really tight on that game. There's kind of stuff to do outside of the main story, but not too much. And it's not essential by any means. It doesn't waste your time with busy work or anything like that game. And yeah, the combat system is just phenomenal, and the story is just phenomenal as well. So kind of it all adds up to a really, really, really special experience.
Gamzly, did you finish that one?
You
were playing it with Cleo, right?
Yeah, I could only. Yeah, God bless her. She's here somewhere. Stalking the chat. Yeah, I'm waiting for her. It's we have busy schedules, so it's just hard to link it up. It's sad that it's this game because I would be done already, right, Cleo? She's not listening. I'd be done already. I love this game so much. The after chapter 1, a funny thing happened to me because at first I was like, okay, I think I know what's gonna happen here. I think I know what characters are safe or not. And then after chapter 1, it just flips all of that on my head, and now I'm actually scared for my whole party. That might or might not be a spoiler, but
Better believe not be.
I don't know.
Be
I
furious.
don't know what's gonna happen anymore. I have no idea what's gonna happen anymore, and who's safe and who's not safe, and it's quite a daunting roller coaster of emotion type game. A lot of happy moments, a lot of dread moments, and a lot of scary moments. So I'm loving that game. The combat system, again, I think, like, I'm in chapter 3 now, and you're still getting tutorials of things. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
Luke, like, there's just non-stop new mechanics being shot in there, and it's getting a little bit tiring for me because there's like 5 different dodges that you can do. So it's quite late in the game too, so I'm a little bit wonky and all over the place with that, but as a whole the game is phenomenal, and I can't wait to finish this game and see what's up, because they dropped a lot of nuggets that I'm very interested about. So yeah, steadily grinding along on that game,
Good.
as well as other things.
Yeah, and Doom obviously, but let's talk about these other things then. So was there another thing you've been playing, Gamzly, that you want to talk about?
Well, I want to bring up some Discord stuff because we're trying to, put in some, add some games to the community nights and stuff like that. And I recently got a bunch of my Dungeons & Dragons buddies into the Discord right now, and every second week we're going to be putting on a tabletop Dungeons & Dragons game. Live in the Discord servers, so if you join Discord, you could hop in there and jump into those. Yesterday was our first session in that Discord, in our Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I moved everybody there successfully, and it was a blast. For all of you that haven't played tabletop Dungeons & Dragons, I think you should once in your life, because it's just a good time. Grab drinks, get a little drunk, unlike Asa, not live on air with a wine, but together with buddies and friends and making jokes. It's all good stuff.
What are you trying to say? I've got a ginger beer and I don't get drunk live on air. I sometimes have a glass of wine,
6 glasses of wine. We know. It's a long show. Sometimes we go long, okay, Asa? I don't believe that you're sipping on one for 2 hours, Anyways, I'm not going to believe you regardless of what you say. Not going to believe you. But yeah, that was a good time. So if you guys listening get a chance, you should join us and hop in there for a listen if you're interested. But yeah, I was doing that, and it was a blast.
I fully intend to. I've said before on this show and other places that I would love to get into tabletop games, but it's quite intimidating because time is at a premium already, and you need to actually know people, and you need to put a little bit more effort into understanding what's happening in that environment. And I'm so lazy.
It's funny because no, you wouldn't. It's funny because the new players are always the funnest players because they're just getting their legs in the environment, and they always do some unorthodox stuff, whereas older players actually think of meta, like the best builds and how to like screw the system and get overpowered and all that stuff, and they like being powerful. So it's not quite as fun when you're seasoned veterans, I would say. It's nice to throw some flavor with the new guys, because you never know what they're going to do. They might blow up your whole campaign, you know? You might write something and they might just completely destroy the whole idea and you have to go off script. So those are the best type of tabletop games, and you don't have to follow the rules at all, to be honest, as long as the dungeon master knows what he's doing. But yeah.
Well, that's encouraging because that's the same as I play video games. I appreciate a bit of chaos and try to bring some everywhere I go. So
It's the best type.
soon. That'll happen soon. I've been playing, before we get on to Doom and all the rest of it, I don't really know. I finished South of Midnight, which I very much appreciate as a little game. I talked about it a bit last week, so I won't go into it too much, but I wanted to get that finished before I started on Doom. So I did, and I came away going, that was quite fun, actually. Quite like that game. Little self-contained little package that's not blown me away. It won't live in my memory forever, but I'm glad that it exists and that the market can support
I'm really
like
shocked.
That. Are you?
I'm really shocked. I'm actually in a good way. I actually like that you like it. I don't know. For some reason I didn't think that you're gonna like this game.
I totally understand the criticisms people
shock
have of
me
the
every
little,
day.
like the arena bubbles for the combat do remain the same throughout the entirety of the game, and the like the basic pawn of an enemy that you are introduced to in the very first encounter remains the only one that ever hits you throughout the entirety of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
That one's a dickhead. Why has he got an infinite range melee slash?
I fucking hate them. Yeah, and there's no, and they give you like almost no indication on when, like just a little blurb for a second, and then he just slaughters you. But yeah, I hate those guys. I always take them over, you know, with your little puppet. I always like use them because you could take over enemies. I always like seek one out first and use him to destroy everybody. But yeah, those enemies are dicks.
Well, I like the game overall. I found it quite engaging. I know a lot of people fell off of it or whatever else, but yeah, I wanted to keep going. So I did, kept going. Then I got to the end and then I can't keep going anymore. It's done. It's uninstalled. So very nice. Happy with that. And yesterday, very special occasion, because Doom wasn't the only massive game to come out this week. Power Stone 1 and 2 were released as part of the Capcom Fighting Collection Part 2. And we played through a little bit for community games yesterday. We went through all of the games that were included in there, and Power Stone holds up as a lot of fun. I was slightly mildly disappointed that the Fighting Collection is the arcade releases for all of these games. So I didn't get, if I wanted to go through the campaigns for these games, the story modes and all the rest of the things that you got on like the Dreamcast releases, I can't because they're not included. It's just the arcade mode. But really all I wanted to do was have a little multiplayer blast, so the arcade mode kind of fills that little niche and did the trick. So it was good. You were first. No, maybe. So them's what I've been playing. And Doom. So what we're going to do now, because this is the main central topic of today's show, there's been bits and pieces of news that we'll cover as well, but Doom is the big one. I think everybody here has been pretty damn excited to get their teeth into it, and now we have. And Luke, you've not said anything for a little while, so tell me about your first impressions of the Doom.
Yeah, so I've played like an hour and a half, 2 hours of it. I wanted to see just how it looked and how it ran, and then that devolved into like 2 levels. Yeah, nerd. And so far I'm really enjoying it. It's very familiar, but also very different to Eternal and 2016. Feels a bit closer to 2016 to me, but I think that's probably just because you're not platforming, swinging everywhere like you did in Eternal. Yeah, I think it's like an interesting game mechanically. Like the things that they've leaned into in terms of the moment to moment are very different from those other games. I suspect this will be like, obviously it's, you know, critically done well, but I think amongst the Doom community, it will be another Doom where people are mixed on it, as in, you know, compared to other Dooms. I don't know where, like, it's too early for me to know where it lands in terms of the gameplay feel compared to Eternal, which is my favorite, and 2016. But so far, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I really, really like the shield like the shield bash. That's really good.
Oh yeah.
The parry stuff is pretty good, although I'm not as kind of into that as the shield generally, like the shield bash and the shield throw. I really like the movement. I really love the weight that they give the Slayer in this. You know, that like you really do feel like a big kind of almost like mechanized warrior running through this battlefield. And I just really like when you land and, you know, you shockwave out and destroy enemies and stuff like that. It's very
so good.
Like, it's really well done, and they've got good audio to back that up as well. Visually looks incredible, runs incredible, you know, as you'd expect. What else? That's pretty much it. Like I said, I've not played like tons and tons of it because I'm trying to do Expedition 33, but so far, you know, really impressed with it, and looking forward to playing more of it. What I will say as well, the other thing that really stood out to me is the destruction. Like, there's a lot of like physics-based objects in the world, way more than you might think when you enter a room. Like, lots of different things are, you know, either can be destroyed or partially destroyed, or they can just be moved. You know, they're just a physical object. And again, it gives it like a different. That stuff wasn't really there in Eternal or 2016 at all. They were very static environments, apart from one or two special things that you could activate. So that again just gives that feeling that you're just this big wrecking ball thing in the environment. And I just really, really like that. So I also like that it's kind of, and they said this before launch, but you do feel it when you play it. It's a bit bullet helly. You know, like, but just a kind of a like a 2D plane, obviously, because you're first person, and that's really cool. It just, again, it gives the combat a bit of a different flavor, but I appreciate that. You know, that will be liked by some and not others. But I'll be interested to see what you two think of it as well compared to the others. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Gamzly.
Asa's gonna wait for his harsh takes. He's gonna take down all of this. I might be the most positive one here, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm just feeling the room. But I'm gonna start with audio, because I'm gonna start with what I actually dislike. So I'm just past chapter 7. Now, chapter 7, I would say, is the first chapter where you get the last of your main weapons that you will probably use the most in this game. Like, you have your core weapons, the mace, the flail, your shield, all the stuff that you saw in the trailer, and fully like get all the mechanics. So for puzzling, like, you throw your shield, open doors and stuff like that, and all that good stuff, and you could grapple to your shield as well. So I played a good amount to get a good sense of it. So the audio, though, chapter 7 is the first big area. And I don't know if they mixed the audio properly in this game. Everything sounds good. Like, your guns are amazing. The impact, you could like feel and hear the impact of your footsteps, of your flail, of your shield, of your how you throw your shield, and all that stuff. It's like all the effects that really, really matter are really good. But when it comes to the music blending with the voices and all that, because you're getting a lot of story elements as you're walking around as well, they're not quite good. Like, they get in the way of the music, which is also like super important. So you'll be like, right? You're running around in this little area, killing all these guys, and then they'll like really balance it off. Like, they'll make the music really low sometimes, for the voice to pop in and tell you your next objective and stuff like that. But then like never pump up the volume where it matters, which is like in the action. And I'm not getting that head thumping beat like I did in the other games. It just doesn't seem to be there for me, especially in the open, like, chapter 7. Just, I barely hear music. I just hear the explosions and the chain gun and the chainsaw on your shield. Like, I just hear that stuff. I don't hear enough music at all. And in Eternal, I don't remember that being a problem for me. So maybe it's the new story elements that they're trying to really push, so that the voice comes in louder at times, and you kind of have to put the music low to hear it, or something's just off with it. I don't know. That's my harsh criticism of like the audio in general. I don't think they mixed it well in the proper timing. I think it's mixed well, but the timing and the choicing of where to put the voices or the music or the volume, it wasn't there for me. How about you, Asa? Do you know what I'm talking about?
So I play with headphones, and I wouldn't say that I've had issues with the mixing as such, but it is noticeably not as metal as 2016 and Eternal. And I don't know if that's because the tracks themselves don't hit in the same way. Obviously they lost Mick Gordon and all the rest of it, or if it's because the overall pacing of the game just doesn't lend itself quite as well to that vibe,
right?
Because there's times where, I mean, if you choose to go looking for any of the secrets, and the levels, like the old ones, are littered with secrets and things, you're supposed to spend a little bit of time looking around and seeing what ledges you can climb, what secrets you can uncover if you want to get your 100% and get all your rewards and upgrades and stuff. And if you start doing that in some of the more open levels, you actually get quite long stretches of boring, which don't feel very Doom at all. And there's no music for those. You've got some background gunfire, and it's just like, it just takes the flow away. But I'm tying that into audio, because audio is such a big part of the feeling of the game, and the pacing and the audio together just take a little bit of that away. So I get what you're saying on some of that.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was feeling. Because it's so awkward, because when it's there, when it's like super prominent and in your face, and some of these battles are like really chaotic, and it does do a good job in some of those scenarios, but I really actually feel it in combat as well, that sometimes it's just not loud enough comparatively to your guns and to your actions, like your charge attack and stuff like that will overshadow the music, and I'm just like, what is going on? I just don't remember that with the other ones.
There's been there's been no moments where I've heard the audio and gone, no, that's a bad fit, like you've chosen the wrong direction for audio whatsoever. But there's also been no moments where I've been like, fuck yeah. And that's missing.
which is interesting, because the rest of the game knows that it's a fuck yeah, right? Like you're every time humans, like you pass by a human, they all like are scared of you. They're like, get out of this guy's way. You're like super badass, and you feel badass, and you feel like something that's scary and cool and whatever. But yeah, there is no holy shit moment in the gameplay that makes your heart pump, you know? It's just more of a cool factor without it, which is wild to me. But with that out of the way, everything feels so fucking good. I was concerned when people were trying to say that it was just a little bit slower. But I think as I played it, the scale in some of the levels, especially chapter 7, is just like the environment is quite big in that one specific chapter. So it is quite a distance to get to certain areas and get the music starting back up, right? Mm-hmm. There is, like you said, areas where there's no music and you're just searching and trying to find secrets. And it's just the scale is bigger. So there's more of those sections. But when it's tight and compact, like the first 5 chapters, excluding first 3 chapters, let's say, excluding the dragon and the mech.
It's not a dragon, it's a lizard with a jetpack. I don't know why, but
it's a lizard with a jetpack. It's cool as shit. But yeah, we'll get to that too, because I have a lot to say on that. It just feels so good moment to moment when you have your full arsenal, man. It's just so good. And I think the only difference with the speed is and the level design, well, is the level design versus like Eternal, right? Where the Eternal level design is like there's just like verticality, density. You're having to run around to get away from fire. It's so chaotic because it's smaller sections, especially, and Doom's 2016 is even smaller than that. So you don't get to me, I didn't feel the danger as much. I feel almost too powerful at times, which is a detriment to it as well, but I kind of like it as well. It's a tug of war with me at the moment where I'm like, I am playing this super fast. You have so you have a sprint, so you could sprint, which makes it feel really fast. You can charge, like you could charge at people with your shield, and the cooldown is super. It feels super good. It feels like it's always there for you when you want it. So you get to the next enemy and the next enemy and the next enemy really quickly. So that kind of makes it quicker in general, or makes it feel just as quick as the other two. It just, oh man, everything together just seems so fucking good. I love this freaking game.
What is your input method, like controller, keyboard, and mouse, whatever it may be, and what difficulty are you playing on?
Right now, so I'm playing one above the recommended difficulty. So I don't know what they call it, like Slayer or some shit. I don't know what they call it, but one above, and I'm using mouse and keyboard. Which is crazy for me, obviously, because my hand situation, but it just feels really good. I bound the keys to League of Legends scheme stuff, which is hilarious. How I play League of Legends, like I just mapped everything to the buttons I use for League of Legends most of the time. So my control scheme won't look at all like you guys, but it just feels really good for me to play. I need that. With any other shooter, I'd probably go joystick. But for something so quick and so melee heavy, this is working for me. I don't know why. It's probably the exact opposite for you guys. But yeah, calling on the difficulty, it just seems very. I'm twisted on that because again, I feel like it's a little too easy even on hard, for me. Whereas Eternal and Doom, I always feel like I was about to die. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like that glory kill would actually save me. Here for 7 chapters now, I haven't felt that. Like I always feel in control. I always feel powerful. Again, that might be by design. That might be for like that badass feel, or that power fantasy. Maybe they wanted us to have, but I think I would have to bump it up even more to get like a fear in me. Because right now I barely get touched.
Oh, interesting. See, I find this one harder than the other two. I'm on the same difficulty as you.
Do you?
I find it quite easy to die in this, because if you do get hit, there's like it feels ghosty, some of the damage that you do take. It doesn't, your character has all this weight and impact, but the enemies don't. And it's actually like they do in their movement, but there's something weird about the collision. Like they'll swing their claw and they'll be like a good few foot away and you'll take some damage and go, what? And I actually find it quite easy to die in this one, but not very satisfying when you do. Like it just feels like, oh, I missed that something was going wrong there, I suppose.
I think it's how my brain automatically strategizes.
I underuse the shield is why it's happening, I'm sure.
Oh, I overuse the shield. Like every time that thing is up, I use it to get away and close the gap.
I literally use it to block.
First of all,
I use it as a movement tool and an attacking tool, but I don't very much like to use it to block. I don't do the stand and fight. I want to be nimble.
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, but I do this thing where I see those, guys that are mounted. There's like a mounted enemy. I zone in on those guys first all the time, and I try to get his rider off all the time. So I'll charge in him, use all 3 of my melee attacks on him.
That's what kills me.
Get his
always
rider
using
off,
all 3 melee attacks is when I die, without fail.
Really?
That's when I'm taking damage without noticing that I'm taking damage.
But that's when you turn around and you use the mini enemies to charge out of distance. So I'll do this thing where I'll bait, like I'll go in, out, in, out, in, out. So I'll take the farthest enemy after all my melee is dead, and I'll charge him, and then I'll just shotgun, run around, get back, and then charge back in with the shield. So I'm really a in and out approach with it, and it's working phenomenally. I take nothing. I take almost no damage every time I get into a fight, which is crazy. But it seems to be working for me, at least, the in and out approach.
Yeah, you're not playing very differently to me, and I die a lot less now that my shotgun generates armor or whatever it is, but I've just found it really easy to have health just drain away. Yeah, the burn.
You don't get the perfect blocks?
What? Yeah.
Like the perfect blocks on people?
As in the green? Yeah, I do the parry.
Yeah.
But I don't parry, I don't block much else.
That's crazy.
I also, generally in the combat, you really love it, and I'm mixed on it. Because I loved the first two. I loved 2016 and Eternal, but I loved them for the shooting. And I don't like the shooting in this one. Because it's so, like, you don't even need to aim most of the time. It's so simple.
Yeah.
It just feels, that's why I asked if you were playing on a controller or a keyboard and mouse. Because, like, the first, I think 2016 and Eternal, I played them on keyboard and mouse, but I reckon I would have struggled to play those on a controller. Because just the pace of them. Whereas this one, I reckon, will be quite easy on a controller. Because it's just, partly everything's bigger and wider, so there's less need to flip around all the time.
A lot of spray damage.
Like, the shield aims itself, whether you're charging or whether you're throwing it. The shotgun's blast is like half a screen, so you don't need to actually be any good with it. And it just feels like you don't actually need to be able to shoot anything to be able to shoot everything. And that doesn't, like... I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the game. It's just... It's like I said, shooting is easy, and yet I'm still dying. So clearly, I just haven't got into the rhythm of it properly. But it's a weird mix. Like, it doesn't feel like 2016 or Eternal to me.
I understand you. It does feel like a complete. I guess that's why I kind of like it, because situationally we're a little different. So controlling perfect aim shots, or let's say like single bullet shot guns, for me were a little bit frustrating, due to the fact that obviously aiming is much harder for me than for you guys. So them having this more like wave based spray attack weapons, like for instance when you have your plasma gun and you shoot plasma shields, it just does this big explosion and kills everything around the thing. So them having this more like spray approach combat really enhances my liking of the game, I guess, because I'm just having a blast and I'm not thinking of getting a good shot on something. I just know that I'm gonna hit it if I do a slightly to the left shot. So I don't know, it seems I like it. I guess contrast matters, but yeah, I'm having a blast, man. It hooked me good. Now what I will say sucks, and then I'll move on to we could move on from Doom if you would like after you talk about it, but the glory kills. So the difference between Eternal and this is that I guess overall the Doom Slayer is a little bit like, you don't have, again, the verticality stuff, and the speed is a little bit different. So Eternals and 2016's combat is a little bit quicker, more precise, and the glory kills is the way to kind of slow it down and give you that breathing between the bullet hell nature, well, not bullet hell, but the complete insanity and density of the room coming down on you. It gives you that breathing moment. Do you like the glory kill more than what they do here? Because here it's kind of like it doesn't like you get no break, right? Like the glory kill doesn't happen like it happened before, where you get this break. You slow down the combat by like kind of removing the eye and stabbing it 3 times. You kind of just kick it, like kick a person and keep going, kick a person, keep going, flail, smash a person in the head, keep going. What do you think about the glory kill system in this one?
I get why some people would have been frustrated at the repetitive nature of them in 2016 and Eternal, where you might be like, oh, we've done that animation before. It was fun the first time and I've had enough now. So I get why there are advantages to this one, but I prefer... I liked them all the way through. It was just satisfying to catch that glow just in range and earn that little respite, that little bit of health that you needed in a different way. So I do miss them. They're not entirely gone from this one. Like, you do get the occasional... I don't even know necessarily what triggers it, but every now and again you do a more pronounced, like, actual glory kill where you'll rip them to pieces with your circular saw or whatever, rather than just doing the kick. I'm not a fan of the kick.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yes, it doesn't feel very
just
murdery.
kick this 50-foot demon, he blows up. It's just so
smack him 3 times in the head with a massive flail and then just do a stupid kick at the end of it. Like, okay, fine. But like I say, it does mean that you don't get that break, and in some ways, like, if you were looking for a flow, then that could be a good thing. I just haven't found that flow yet myself. So.
Yeah, and another thing that is interesting to me is that the lighter enemies, like the smaller enemies, you can't really glory kill them, right? Like, there's no glory kill. Whereas
honestly, most of the time with
smaller
them, you'll have like 10 lighter enemies,
just one shot kill,
and you'll try and kill one of them, and you'll realize that you've accidentally killed all 10.
Yeah, exactly. What? Exactly. Yeah. Like, you shield bash one and they just implode, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I found it interesting too, right? Like, they're just there to be there. Like, they're so easy to kill. You just like kick him once and he's dead, or shoot him with a shotgun once and they're dead. Whereas the other one, it was like they were health fodder. Like, you would hit a few of them to get health back and stuff like that. But it would take still like 3 shots, right? So I find it an interesting balance, and I wonder what made them do it. I mean, they help you get around the battlefield, and they had to exist for the sake of keeping it crowded, right? So they just all explode and looking at them. Boom! Oh, thought we could have been friends. Never mind. Luke, did you get to the dragon and mech part, or you didn't? What do you think about the mech and the dragon, Asa?
So,
for the early level,
and these are like they're not
it is a
surprises because they
tutorial,
were in
right?
the trailer, so everyone's seen them. I don't like either of them. The mech's like,
me too.
It's moderately entertaining, I suppose. Like, functionally, it's fine. You get to smash a load of shit up. And the dragon sucks ass. Like, all of the dragon combat was like, oh my goodness, do I have to?
I hate it. Dude.
Jetpack lizard.
I hate it. Jetpack lizard sucks, man. I'm sad that it kind of sucks. And by the way, it does get better. Like, they introduce a lot of interesting add-ons to these things. Because, I mean, if you play the mech part, it's basically like punching. Like, all you're doing is walking around, punch,
occasionally
people.
dodge.
Like,
yes.
Punch, hit, and then like one cannon, and that's it, But there is other stuff added later. So that's interesting. And they do... I don't know if it was a good job, because I think like the first 5 chapters serve as like a tutorial, right? So they had to shoot in these 2 things at a minimum scale to show you how to use them at their most basic, so you don't drown later on. But man, the stuff they chose to make you do during these 2 sections were just god awful. But I love how it looks, I love how it looks. I love how the scale and everything. But
on that, because there's not going to be a lot to say on how it looks overall, but generally, like, the game is so performant and gorgeous, and you wish that more games use that engine, because it really is like a performance monster. Oh my god, yeah. And you get used to it, especially on the PC side, where you get all your Unreal Engine 5. Luke will be well aware of it, because he loves his shader stutter and all that kind of stuff. It works, and it's so slick. It does scale, it does speed, and it looks gorgeous. And obviously we haven't seen its its showpiece path tracing mode in there yet, because it's not available right now. But taking that out, it's just so damn slick and performant. And as soon as Microsoft release a game that has any kind of stutter, it will be like, damn you, you own that engine. Why isn't Halo in that? You know?
I know, right?
Loading times as well are absolutely
It's
ridiculous.
bang, it's instant.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just almost barely a second at times.
Yeah, and it has such scale everywhere. So
yeah, and detail, which is quite
Absolutely
remarkable.
gorgeous design.
Yeah, I think they said there's a good. The Digital Foundry did their tech breakdown of it, which I'd highly recommend for anybody who's interested in it. They said it's a really impressive engine because, you know, if people remember from Eternal, there was the level Super Gore Nest, which was sort of the first third of the game, and it was like the most geometrically dense level of the game. Like, it was, you know, pretty much the most demanding level as a result. And I think in Eternal, basically, you've got maps that are 10 times the size of anything. In Dark Ages, you've got maps that are 10 times the size of anything in Eternal. But like one segment of the map can be as detailed as the Super Gore Nest thing. So like they've kind of pushed they've kept the level of detail the same and arguably greater, actually, because the lighting has such an impact on the game that it makes it look much better anyway. But you know, they push the scale out massively, which is really cool. So it's it's like probably the best engine around, at least in terms of the
begging for Halo,
and performance, right? And everything. Yeah, it's quite surprising they're doing UE. I get why they're doing UE, because it's easier to hire for, but it's quite mad. Yeah, it's mad that'll be stuttering.
When you think back to like
needs not to.
That Halo Reach playthrough that we did recently, where you looking at all these set pieces and going, wow, like they knew how to do set pieces and how to do the approach to these big grand moments. And you look at what you can do in this engine, and you're like, oh fuck, that's a match. Halo should be on this.
Good. So good, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. Like, I could just picture first of all, the art team went wild with this game. Like, this game has incredible art and incredible, like, design everywhere. But I could just reskin this whole game and put in the Flood, and it would just, like, it gives me shivers just to think about it, you know? Like, Halo in this kind of... Halo... Anything in this engine would look incredible, but I can't wait. I hope they do it one day, man. Like a spin-off. Like, don't you think that's possible? A spin-off in this engine. Like, I would hope
possible.
so.
Like, Microsoft own both things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, give me some sort of spin-off with the Flood. You know, just give me a bunch of ODST agents going around killing Flood, and I'll be happy. But yeah.
So the last thing that I want to touch on Doom, and I'll start with you, Luke, because you've seen enough of this to know whether it's interesting or not. So Doom has much more of a focus on cinematics and storytelling than it's ever had before. Luke, you've met some of the key characters. Oh, I've not gone through the whole story, so I don't know how key they're going to be and how long everybody's going to last and whatever. But is the story enticing? Do you care for the cinematics in any way?
It's fine. I like the cinematics for the cinematography, and the direction of those are actually really well directed, and, you know, really good looking. So I like that. But in terms of the actual story stuff, it's interesting enough for a Doom game so far. Anyway, I mean, I'm only, you know, a couple of hours in, but they leaned into the story hard, really, on the back end of Eternal, and particularly the Old Gods DLC. So they were kind of already doing what they're doing in Dark Ages, and I like the lore stuff about the Slayer, like the building of that stuff. That's interesting, but you know, the kind of wider ensemble cast of characters stuff is much at the moment. I would say.
What about you, Gamzly? How are you finding them so far?
Like, again, I appreciate what they're doing. Like I said, like, having these people around you and you interacting with some of these people give, like, the Slayer this presence that's really nice, like extra presence that's really nice to have. Because like they're all also scared of you and they don't know what the fuck is gonna happen with you. So it's nice to see things react to you that aren't demons and monsters. And it's nice architecturally what they could do with a proper story. Like some of these some of these cities looking like really cool. And areas look really cool. But I don't really care about the story, and that hurts me. Because I think a lot of people have like a deep lore connection to some of this stuff, but I don't have it. I'm just like, could you get away? Like, stop talking to me. I'm trying to murder things, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, like the music will be pumping, and then all of a sudden she's like, the Slayer is on his way to the basement 2. I'm just like, yeah. Why am I on your comm? You know, get me away, get me off your comm. But yeah, it's good. It's okay. It's serviceable, right?
Serviceable. It's slop to me. Like I liked.
Yeah.
Doom's never been about the story, and everyone's always said it's never about the story. You just go in and you kill demons, and that's Doom, right? You don't need more than that. Yeah. And they did do some funny stuff in Ancient Gods, like Luke said. Really did add more depth that wasn't there. But the characters in that, it wasn't character driven, right? You had Samuel,
yeah,
and you had the whatever the AI was called, and that was the extent of it. And that it was actually quite interesting if you wanted to pay attention to it. The antagonist in this one is like a fucking slop. Like, it looks great. Right? You've done such a good job on the models and stuff, but come on now, I don't care.
Yeah. Like I said, just the look of it, you know.
Yeah, they don't.
Just the look of it is amazing.
Yeah, but it's not demons. Like, what are you doing? It's like watching EastEnders.
I know.
Oh, wait. It's not like watching EastEnders, but I don't know. I'm not into them at all. Which is fine, you know. They play once. They're not that obtrusive, and then I can get back to killing shit. And who knows? Maybe it'll surprise me by the end. I've still got a lot of chapters to go.
This is like prime example of, hey guys, like you can maybe they were worried that like this game would be completely demolished. Like it's a 10-hour experience, you know, like if you power through this thing, it's not a very long game, and maybe they needed to add more to keep you linked and all that stuff. I just wish companies would just understand what their game is and just scale it appropriately, and they don't, and just make it what it is. I also just think it's a waste of time to put extra stuff like this, but I do commend them for it. I do like, maybe they wanted to do this, and it gave them a boost of energy, because that's all they're doing is Doom games, and writing for something's better than just making mindless stuff. So maybe whatever. Kudos to the team for trying, but I hope the next one is just Doom. That's just me.
Yeah. I don't even want to start thinking about next Doom right now, but. Anyway, Luke, did you have anything else you wanted to say on that before we move on to whatever topics we've got for today? And there's not loads of topics today, so it shan't take ages.
No, I'm just looking forward to playing more.
Yes. Okay, fair. Gamzly.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you wanted to add before you pick? In fact, you turn this into a beautiful segue into whatever you want to talk about next.
Well, I want to call out the chat. Listen, Tony. All right, Nintendo games knows what they are. All right, some are grand and some are small, and Mario's Mario. You don't see Mario with a goddamn story. So, Doom, maybe should just be Doom and mindless demon killing. But yeah, besides that, I love you. Yeah, Doom's amazing. Let's go with what's not so amazing right now is some delays. So let's talk about something I was excited for that is now pushed to 2026 is that Marvel 1943 game. Apparently has its release date pushed to sometime 2026. this had a lot of hype. When it first revealed its trailer, it seemed to be in good shape. What do we think of this? Do we think this is like a sign that it's in trouble, or do we think that they just need more time? Are you guys excited for it? What's going on with this game?
Well, the trailer features all too much stealth for my liking, so I don't know. This is Amy Hennig's one, right? And it looks great in the trailer. It's got a lot going for it, but I really do not mind that it is delayed because there is so much to play right now and so much to play for the rest of the year. And I got a sneaking suspicion that when Microsoft do their next showcase, they're going to have a few things for us to do this year as well. So I don't think there's going to be any rest or any break in having content to play. So everybody can delay their games as much as they want, and I will not complain. Luke,
what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. It didn't surprise me that they delayed it. We haven't even seen any gameplay of this. Like, not even like a tiny bit. So I always thought by this point, it was going to be pretty unlikely that it'd hit this year. We've seen some cool trailers of stuff, and obviously it's Amy Hennig, who's great. And I like the concept of the story. I'm very interested to know how it plays. The way that they've described it before. I think maybe some people are expecting, like, because it's Amy Hennig, like Uncharted style gameplay. I don't think it will be that free in terms of gameplay. I feel like this is more akin. This is probably going to be akin to something like Hellblade 2, maybe. In terms of like very cinematic driven. The gameplay is there, but the emphasis almost isn't on the gameplay in this as such.
Interactive story.
Yeah, like interactive story. Gameplay segments and such. And that would make sense.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's entirely fine. Like, I don't have a particular issue with that. But it would also make sense, I guess, from a visual perspective, because if you look at, what they're pushing here, if the game looks like this in game, it's not as if you could do like super expansive environments and stuff like that. Anyway, it would need to be very tight, like Hellblade 2 is, right? Like, it's very linear, very scripted. Not many gameplay systems, a very core kind of cinematic experience. So I've got no issue with that at all. But I do want to see gameplay, and so given the fact that we haven't seen it, it wasn't really surprising that it was pushed out.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sad though, but I always thought that Batman combat would probably, like, Batman action combat would probably do this really well. But make it more visceral and more angry, just make it adult Marvel. And that's how
Captain
I
America's
always
not
sold
angry.
it in my brain. Just come on, man. Just
He's nicer
give
than Batman.
Give these people, I'm on. It's funny you say that, because I'm on this whole Disney kick right now. Back on Star Wars. I'm back on Marvel. I'm looking at a lot of their stuff, recent stuff, and I just watched all of Andor, right? And as soon as Disney decided to go a little bit more fucking serious and adult, like, they just made something super special. Like, Andor is serious. It's not goofy. It's not. They took this goofy world and they made it serious, and it really does. It really is incredible. So that's what I'm hoping this game does, is just take their characters a little bit more serious and not do quips and not be quippy and all happy, just make these guys gritty and serious for a change. So I'm thinking this could be like an Arkham feeling game. That's how I sold it in my brain, at least. I'm probably totally wrong. But yeah, I was really hoping it would be that and drop this year, but alas, it is pushed, and good for them. I guess they have more time, but they're gonna run into GTA 6, so probably won't do good for them to be close to that at all, period. And by the way, I also loved Guardians of the Galaxy. I went back to that. What a great
so
game!
damn
and,
good.
and
Yeah.
it didn't. What a great game! Like and the combat wasn't even special, and that game still flourished to me. So yeah, I just want more of that, man. Marvel again, like Star Wars, has a very it's just an infinite amount of potential for anything, any genre. So let's just capitalize it. And I hope that studio can. I'll make you, but that's all I gotta say.
Next.
All right, next, let's go with. I just want to. Speaking of, yeah, I was looking. I was looking at that. Come on. You're typing in real time. I can't pick Asa.
Yeah, you can.
Nah.
Pick what you want.
Nah.
Mm,
Nah.
yeah.
Okay. Nah. All right. Okay, let's go to Ninja Gaiden 4. Something that probably won't get delayed. Did you see the trailer? The new
No.
trailer? There was like a little mini trailer that popped out. If you could just click on that for the
You
chat.
give me a freaking Twitter link. What are you doing?
I give you.
It's making noises at me. Yes, you give me a Twitter link for it.
Listen, I'm usually excellent at this. All right, don't complain.
I appreciate the effort in pulling things together.
I actually couldn't. I think at the time I couldn't find the YouTube video. That's why I did it. But I think there's a bunch of them on YouTube now. I don't think they uploaded it at the same time. Yeah. This new trailer impressed me. I'm super excited because I played 3 this year and I completed that, and it was a bunch of fun. And this trailer just makes me happy on all ends. It just looks like Ninja Gaiden, and I'm ready for Ninja Gaiden, and it's enough to be Ninja Gaiden. This looks insane. I'm watching it right now. He's like just twirling in the air. The dodging looks great. The camera looks a little bit better, which is kind of scaring me because I don't know if it looks that much better. And that's what I hated about Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, it seems like their lock-on system, some sort of lock-on system, looks much better. Yeah, what do you think? Did you give this a watch?
I just watched it for the first time now, and it looks really good. So I actually I played Ninja Gaidens when they were fresh and new. Before difficult games were fashionable, and I liked them a lot back then, but they were, to me, fairly niche, and I enjoyed them, but I didn't think that going back to play them would feel great after so many more games have come after the fact and kind of refined that difficult formula. And then we got the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black Remaster, whatever they called it, and I stuck it on for a little bit just to get a little sample, not expecting to like it, and was like, oh, actually, no, this feels a lot better than I expected. I didn't think it would hold up and feel nice in my hands anymore, but I'm still enjoying this. So suddenly I became more interested in this fourth one. I still don't have a lot of faith in the teams that are making it. So seeing a positive trailer that looks like it's got all of the ingredients that I'm after. Like there was some neat responsive parrying in there, a lot of nimble movement, darting up to those aerial enemies and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of fluid, like hack and slash combat. I think, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm still apprehensive because I don't particularly trust either of the teams working on it to be consistently good. They've both had their moments of doing good things, but they're not consistently good. So I'm a little apprehensive in that sense, but it looks like hopefully it's coming together, and it had a whole bunch of rain and it looks cool. Yeah, happy. Luke.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Ninja Gaiden fan, and it's still a bit surreal that we're getting a new one, to be honest. So yeah, it looks really good. The only thing I will say is that I think it's one of those that you need to, like, I need to get my hands on it, because looking at it, it looks, and maybe you'll know what I mean by this, it looks more Platinum Games than it does Team Ninja. Like it looks far closer to like Nier Automata, which was developed by Platinum Games in terms of its combat, albeit it's very clear it's got more systems in its combat than that game. Not that I'm saying Nier Automata's combat was bad, by the way. It was just like it's different. It's different from classic Ninja Gaiden, right? Like Ninja Gaiden has a very specific feel. Part of that is the camera sometimes as well, and that's more of an archaic element, but other parts are just the weight and the heft and all that sort of stuff, but also the speed. It's very unique in the way that it controls and you know how you feel it. So this just looks a bit more floaty, like a bit more I don't know, like a bit quicker maybe, I guess. I don't, like I said, I don't think that's a bad thing. I just I want to play it. And
Yeah, I get you.
and really that's the most important thing about this game is the combat, because story is like, who cares, right? It's Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Like
Non-existent.
it's going to rest on really get, you know, moment to moment combat, and then the boss battles, and then kind of the, you know, environments and stuff like that. So but I'm looking forward to it. And it's one of those games that I keep forgetting is coming this year, and then I'm like, oh, Ninja Gaiden's coming out as well, that's cool. So like it's nice to be reminded of it.
It'll be kind of neat if Ryu feels like he used to, and the new character feels like a platinum character.
And the new character. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that could blend okay. That could work. We'll see though, Gamzly.
I love that. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I'm really excited. I think this year is the year of like a bunch of Gamzly games. You know, it's just my type of year. A lot of studios releasing games that I really appreciate, and I feel spoiled for the last 2 years, because last year was also one of those games with like Persona. I mean, not Persona, but Metaphor and all these games dropping that are once in like 6-year games. What did you just say?
I forgot about Metaphor and Unicorn Overlord and all these other things from last year that I want to play.
Poking at me. Yeah, you should. You're never gonna beat that game. It's too long, man. You're gonna hate yourself. It's just another Gamzly year. Doom dropping, Oblivion dropping, this dropping, and a bunch of other stuff that's slated. Gears of War getting remastered. I mean, it's a big year for me. Yeah. Looks cool. I guess I think there's a lot of people in the chat that's also appreciative. Probably Tony as well is probably excited about this. So it'll be nice. Asa, you choose the next one.
Fuck's sake. We're not doing that one, not doing that one, not doing that one, not doing that one. Don't care about that one. Bungie. Oh dear. So for those that haven't been following the social medias, Bungie and their marathon game that's been in alpha and is due to release some point this year, I don't know what date, have come under a spotlight for scandalous behavior, because there's an artist who unknowingly, unwittingly did loads of the art for Marathon. They effectively stole the portfolio of, I've not got the name of the person, I should find it, maybe someone can grab that and stick it in chat, but they wholesale copied and pasted a bunch of art, recolored some things and stuck them all over the walls in Marathon. And the artist has said they were suspicious of what was happening when they saw the trailers, because it looked all very familiar, but then they played the alpha and they literally saw their art, including effectively watermarks that they'd left in it, and they were a bit pissed, rightly so. Bungie came out and said, damn, like, we acknowledge this has happened, we're very sorry, it was an artist who's no longer here, they did a bad, and we're going to try and contact this artist and try and make it right with them, which, like, damn straight you are. But at least Marathon in an even more tricky situation than it was in, because Marathon was already not everyone's favorite thing in the world. There was already a lot of mixed opinion on it, and this is for some people that have followed the situation and are aware of it, it's made it more of an uphill struggle for Bungie than it already was. Luke, what do they do from here? Can they salvage this situation, or should they, I don't know what they can do really. What do they do from here?
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because as you say, the sentiment around the game wasn't, I want to say it was overtly negative, but it certainly wasn't overtly positive either. It was just kind of like in the middle ground of which I don't really think is where you want a Bungie game to be. And the one thing that they needed to do was to try and lift that going up into launch in September, right? Through just showing more content or showing a roadmap or like, there's several things. And I'm sure they had several things planned. I probably still do. But now it has this really pull down negative sentiment because of this thing that's been added on, which is really, really difficult thing to remove. So, particularly given the history of Bungie has happened several times before, and there's a real liberal pinching of this person's art, basically, which is not. It just doesn't look good. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what they can do. I think obviously, they had to come out and just kind of throw their hands up to it, which they did, and just say, yep, it's stolen art. It was this person. They don't work here anymore. But if it was the first time that ever happened, I think that would probably be the end of it for the most part. Most people move on, but because they have a history of this having happened, it just looks really bad. And I'm sure, genuinely, I'm sure that's all probably coincidence in terms of like there's not a mandate within the studio to steal people's art, but it does really like throw into question their like managerial oversight of this stuff, that it keeps happening, and they clearly haven't built in processes to actually address this, and that's pretty shocking, really. So yeah, I'm not too sure what they do next with it, other than to continue to try and be transparent, I guess. And then I don't know. I don't think this will change their plan for the game or anything like that. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going to change a roadmap or anything like this, but it might form part of a wider discussion about whether they, what steps they will take to try and bring up general sentiment around the game, because at the minute it's just really bad. So, and the studio, obviously. So,
extra bag of Haribo in their influenza gift boxes. No worries, it'll be papered over.
That'd sort me. That's it. If they chucked in a couple of bears in there, that'd be great.
It is. So obviously they've pinned the blame, or attempted to pin the blame on someone who is no longer there, which is like an easy way out. And obviously some people are going to be skeptical of that. But to make it worse, it has been already uncovered that a bunch of the art team currently at Bungie follow this artist and have done for a long time as well. So the throw their hands up and blame a scapegoat that's no longer there has also not landed very well. And this is the kind of stuff, it's hard to say how far and wide this information will travel, because you see it on the social medias and the people that are intently interested in digging this stuff up, but the material damage of it is fairly hard to predict. It's not going to change their marketing and all the rest of it. They're going to have to still release it. They can't scrap the game just because of all of this. They got to, I don't know, it's difficult. Gamzly.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Man, it's tough. I was already like, I think I had a bunch of up and down moments with this game, right? Because in the beginning, I was really excited for it. I was like, this is going to obviously like grab in a bunch of people and maybe keep them, and it's Bungie and whatever. And then we saw the gameplay and that horrible live stream, right? And the first half of that live stream, I was like, oof, this does not look great. The art is kind of I don't like it. Then we saw the real life gameplay of all the influencers, and then I was kind of happy, like I was happier with it. I was like, oh well, it plays good, so maybe it has a path forward. And then Arc Raiders drops their kind of open-ish beta for people to jump in with friends, and that was awesome. And then I was like, oh my god, this is bad, because it might pull interest away from Marathon. And then they have this cycle, this horrible news drop, and it just seems like they can't grab a win. They remind me of Xbox. They just can't grab a win at the moment on PR cycles. And they had this live stream happen a day after or something, and it was just horrible. It was like really straight out of Nintendo Direct where they were just yelling plagiarism and stuff, like comments in the comment section, and just a horrible look for this game and this studio. So I feel bad for the people involved that have nothing to do with it, but I also feel like management needs to step up their fucking game, because I don't know how they could let this happen over and over again, because, you know, it wasn't the first time. So it's very weird. You know, plagiarism is hard to catch sometimes, but this has seemed a symptom of the studio. So I don't know what the hell's going on there, which is strange because they're such a talented team with great artists and all that stuff. So I don't know what the hell is happening to them. But it doesn't bode well for the release if it's coming this year.
Sony must be ecstatic with their purchase as well.
They're probably like, please, gummy bears, do something. There's like poking at it. I don't know. It's a really interesting purchase. Probably their worst at this point.
Gummy Bears isn't even Bungie now.
Not anymore, no.
Yeah, they tore it apart. Yeah, they can't even get that win. Yeah, they can't.
So yeah, it's not as even if Bungie could be like, oh yeah, well, we've got like something out of this. It's like if Gummy Bears goes on to be a gigantic success, it's going to be because of that. What is it?
LFG looking for great.
Yeah, so
yeah, they're going to get zero credit, even though they were a spin-off. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Such a bad look.
Well. Speaking of a bad look, Call of Duty Warzone Mobile has been shut down. Pretty mobile games.
It's crazy.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's pretty. It's not COD Mobile. We know mobile.
Is that still going?
Wow.
I thought
Tony's
Warzone was the
gonna
only
get
COD
me.
Mobile.
No, COD, the regular one is still there, and it's still consistently in like the top 50 or something paid.
What is that? Do they do
or whatever?
When you say COD Mobile, do they do like an annual release alongside the other versions? What is it? I don't do mobile.
I really don't even. I don't even know. I know that my brother plays some sort of COD on mobile, but I don't know if it's Warzone. No, it wasn't Warzone. No, Warzone is like a newer, right, thing that they dropped.
I don't know.
I think they've
got
they have like COD Mobile has like 5v5.
Yeah.
And it also has, I think, the Battle Royale component as well. But yeah, there's like a distinct
Yeah, they're
Call
both
of
different.
Duty.
See, Call of Duty Mobile, I'm looking at it right now. So Call of Duty Mobile Season 4. Yeah, it's just like a more straightforward COD, like old school 5v5.
Yeah, so the website makes it look like you download them all as one pack, but you can play the Battle Royale or you can play the regular multiplayer. So they're stripping out the Battle Royale side of it. Similarly, Apex Legends got shut down a few years ago. Fortnite isn't shut down, but Apple won't let anyone download it. So, yeah, Battle Royale on mobile, shrinking away. That's good. That's good.
It didn't make much money, apparently.
It's just highlights a marked distinction between audiences, right, and the type of games that are going to succeed in different spaces. Because you look at the attempts to bring the console experience to a wider audience and to bring that kind of game onto mobile, and actually it just kind of sinks next to your Candy Crushes and your idle clickers and things like that. It is just looking like a different audience, which suits me okay. Suits me okay.
Yeah, it's I want you know, when Xbox, you know, bought all these things, they touted, you know, they wanted much of it to be mobile focused and growth there and stuff like that, which we know is half truth, right? I kind of just want these audiences. It doesn't do anything for any of us, but I do want that side to be healthy, and whatever player that plays on these things to be a healthy market, because they'll just never touch console games anyway. And that's kind of, you know, there's a lot of data suggesting that. So I kind of feel like it's a bummer to have this market fail on them. Because I mean, they're big, evil, and they want money. So if they're not getting money, then maybe we don't get as good of as good stuff coming our way on the console side, and maybe they gouge us for more money on the console side, which they have been and are doing this year when they pump up the prices. So whatever audience they do have on consoles, they're just squeezing them like they said they would, right? If it doesn't grow, they squeeze the ones that are there that are hardcore, because there's not many of us. So it just bodes well for everybody if this stuff starts to fail. And Call of Duty Warzone, I didn't really expect to fail, to be honest, because there is a market on the mobile side for it, or this stuff.
Yeah, let's do the Switch 2 then, because that's enough of mobile gaming. Let's talk about minor topic, won't take very long, but there's a little faux pas from Nintendo in that when they launched the Switch 2 and we're talking about all of its capabilities, they promised some people variable refresh rate support, and then it mysteriously disappeared from the marketing piece. So it's there if you're playing in handheld. If you're using the portable console screen, then your refresh rate can do whatever it wants and the screen will match it and keep up. But if you're playing it docked on a TV, that support disappeared on the sly, sneakily, but eagle-eyed watchers noted it, pointed it out, and now Nintendo have apologized and said, actually, yeah, it doesn't do that at launch. Sorry, folks. Luke, is that a big deal?
Yeah.
Do you need variable refresh rate on your docked console?
It's not the biggest deal, but it's very annoying because it's weird that it supports it on its own display, but it doesn't support it on TV when it's connected, which suggests that it must, I don't know if they've confirmed this, but it must not be HDMI 2.1 that it's using. It must be HDMI 2.0, which doesn't support 4K 60 VRR.
Kind of does. It was an optional feature, but it was there if they wanted it.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's a bit wishy-washy, annoying. The full bandwidth for that, it can be done. I've seen it being done, but it doesn't quite work in the same way as HDMI 2.1. So, and I think certainly, I don't know. It's just annoying from Nintendo. It might be that they're actually using HDMI 2.1 spec, and they'll just kind of update the software of the system to support VRR when docked going forward. So they could do that. It's not the hardware proprietary based or anything like that. But yeah, just a bit annoying, really. Because I'd prefer it the other way around. I'm not really too bothered about playing something at 120 FPS on a handheld, and having a variable frame rate and having VRR to patch that up when I'm in handheld mode. I'd rather just have a constant 60 or something because of battery and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know. It's a bit strange. It's not, like I said, it's not the biggest deal breaker in the world, but it is annoying.
For me, I don't think it's a bad thing for a console owner, because VRR support in general on PC, I consider it absolutely essential, because it is not fun trying to tune your own settings to maintain a frame rate. So you get to the start of a level, you stare at a wall and you get your locked in frame rate, and then the action kicks up and you realize you did it wrong. That's not a fun experience. VRR takes a lot of the headache away from optimizing your own PC gaming, but consoles, it's not the user's responsibility, so the developers can use all of their proper profiling tools to make sure the damn game hits the frame rate it's supposed to from start to finish. And then VRR becomes irrelevant anyway. So it's not a massive deal, because a lot of people playing console games on TVs don't actually have VRR support. So really the onus is and should be on the developers to give you solid performance from start to finish anyway. So it's minor in that sense, but it does come in clutch if they don't manage to do that. And not every game is going to be perfectly optimized, because some of them are going to be sandboxy, things are going to change, things are going to be hard to predict, things are going to dip. And it does make for a nicer experience there. But it's fairly trivial to me, right? Mario Kart World had better not drop any frames because I've got no VRR and I don't want it to look shite. Gamzly, do you care? You don't even see frame rate, do you?
No, I don't. I see 720 freaking 25 FPS and 0 color balance, so I don't care. No, I just find it like hilarious that they sold all these Switches and just now they're like, oh yes, we noticed what all of you have been pointing out now. That was a mistake. After selling out everywhere. Pretty scummy to me, but yeah, it's I guess I echo what you guys are saying because you know more than me. So if it's not a big deal on the dock side, then I don't have a deal with it either. But because I'll use this thing 99% in handheld mode, like I used the first one. So yeah, not much to say here. Just scummy and weird messaging there. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like anybody in the world bought a Switch 2 specifically for that feature. So it's like, yeah. Fine.
No, you're right, but it helps the hype. It was like at first it was like, oh, look at all these modern, tech stuff, and everybody's like flipping their shit, right? It just adds to the hype, and then gradually you get the drip feed of bad news, and it would do something in the live action if it was put all into one place. But
maybe there'll be one person in Canada who's so pissed off that they cancel their order and you can grab it.
Yeah, and then I get it. I fucking hope so, because I'm going to be camping for the first time in 20 years to get this goddamn thing. I can't believe it. I told Cleo, I'm like, get ready, because I'm going for the midnight release, and if I can't get it in the midnight, I'm going all fucking night until 9 a.m. And like a goddamn chap, she looked at me in the face and she said, I'm coming with you. Before like 2 minutes. Like, okay, fine. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's all the topics I want to cover today, really. Unless I don't know what the abled gamers harassment thing is. You can talk about that if you want to, or I can gloss over it and move on. What is that?
Sorry, the abled gamer. You said abled gamer?
Yeah,
thing?
That's what you got on number 3.
Oh yeah. I'll just everybody taking advantage of abled anything is a jackass, and apparently the founder allegedly is harassing some of the abled gaming kind of sphere. So I don't like that, and I just wanted to call it out. I'm not going to put the guy's name here. I don't know everything about it. I think it's still developing. So if you're at Abled Gamers, which is a company that helps implement accessibility controls for games and stuff like that, and help people find their gaming choice, if you're doing anything weird in that company, you're a jackass, and go get help. But that's about it. No more on that.
Is that the same company that you shouted out a few weeks ago, or is it a different bunch?
No, that's it's a different bunch. This one, they work specifically for, like, they work close with big companies to add accessibility options in their games and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, then, I think that's enough of our topics, because I'm ready to do our questions. We've got a few of them. And the first one is already up. It's from Pete. Everyone's game backlog is so vast. Has anyone ever considered stopping playing the new ones and properly catching up? Or are we all perpetual slaves to FOMO? Yeah, Pete, I've considered it. If I weren't doing podcasts and things, I might even do it. Just cut off the new releases altogether, get them later when they're cheap, and play some of the old stuff. Would be beautiful. I love my old games. Luke, you can't resist, can you? You couldn't do that. Cut out new releases.
Yeah, not generally, no. At least for certain games, there's just ones that I'll just drop other games for in the backlog. So yeah, it tends to be very difficult. It's also difficult because it's so much easier these days to get spoiled on new games, whether visually or through story details or whatever, across all the various websites, YouTube, social media, website. So like it's quite difficult sometimes. I'm finding this now with I don't know this has been out for quite a while now. I'll say quite a while, but a bit like Expedition 33. It's quite difficult to avoid like things being posted about it that are spoilers. So I always tend to just try and get on something pretty quickly, and if I can finish it, in good time, then cool. But if not, then I'll just keep going on it. So,
but if there were never any more releases from now on, like the industry just went, actually, we can't do this anymore. Yeah. We're closed, and you just had your backlog, would it last you the rest of your life?
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. Yep. So there we go. The whole industry can crash, and we'll be fine. Gamzly.
Yeah. I can easily last on at least 10 years with the stuff that I have right now and I haven't completed. I think I do pretty well. I think half of my library is at least at 60%. So it's not that bad, but I could never cut out the new stuff, unfortunately. I'm actually having a reverse effect where I'm kind of just done, and I've admitted that I'm probably not going to go back to most of these games, and I'm just focusing on completing games in a subservice that I have active. So whether it's Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or whatever, completing games that I'm interested in those first, and then moving on to anything I purchase. But it's a hard limit. I do not jump off games anymore. I make sure I do not like them before I jump them off. Before I jump off. But yeah, I couldn't cut out the FOMO stuff. No way.
Good. Next question is from Isla. She says, "Are you mad that I'm not doing the questions?" Who's doing them? What's happening? I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm not mad. Is either of you mad?
Who's doing the questions?
What's the mystery? Nobody knows.
Oh boy.
Luke looks angry. The rest of us not so much.
Luke is resting Luke face. You know what I mean? But he's a nice guy. He's a happy dude.
Right, next question is from Pete, and it says, hang on. It says, the world will end soon. What, Pete? What? Oh no, there's more. The world will end soon, and you can only play one game for the rest of your existence. Pick one for the world ending in 6 weeks, and one for the world ending in a year. What are they? I couldn't. Pete, in those circumstances, video games might have to not be top priority. It's a bit dark, that, Pete. It's a bit dark. Bit dark. Don't know. It's weird, actually, because I've had the question, like, if there was only one game that you could play forevermore, what game would that be? But this is different because this puts like a closing date on it. So it's not going to be like if you were thinking, I'll play like a World of Warcraft because it's got bottomless content and you just keep playing it forever. But now it's like, actually, I want something that's probably going to be polished off like on the last day precisely, so that it's finished business. But 6 weeks or the year.
I'm gonna go. I would go Elden Ring both of those answers. But yeah, that's what I would play.
Fair. Like, it's a good shout for the 6 weeks for me because I haven't finished the damn thing, and then I could probably get the DLC in if I really pushed it. But I wouldn't because I've got a family and the world's ending.
Yeah, if we could push the 6 weeks up to like the middle of June. From the middle of June onwards, 6 weeks, then Death Stranding 2. The year one, I don't know. That's a difficult one. Probably Baldur's Gate 3, actually, because I haven't properly run through that yet. So actually, that's one that would be great because I'd have a year to do it. I'd be like, right, okay, let's.
Yeah, and if you misjudged entirely and you finished it up, then there is quite a lot more you can do. Like, you can play it entirely differently the next time. So, yeah, not a bad shout, that. I don't know, the question's too dark for me. I can't answer it, so I'm going to move on to the next one.
Power Stone, I'm done with.
No, I'm done with Power Stone. Played it once, that's fine. Next one is
Replay Elden Ring, Luke. I mean, the Asa. But no, you answer
Replay. I
Luke,
haven't finished
Asa.
it yet.
You can't get away. You can't get away. Yeah,
Answer
replay
Luke.
Elden Ring. Oh yeah, you haven't finished it. It's true.
Luke hasn't asked me a question.
Just
Pete's asked
answer,
another though. Yin and Yang. What game with the worst graphics have you most enjoyed?
Oof. Ooh.
Get your Balatro out of my face, you Balatro loving weirdos.
Brotato.
Yeah.
It's not even true. You didn't like that.
I love Brotato, but I also like the graphics because it's so amazing and high fidelity. Brotato is. I'm gonna go Minecraft. Ta-da!
Sure is ugly.
Quite hard this because like a lot of games now, you know, especially on the indie side, use you know specific art styles. Well, this is what I was thinking of, which is, you know, an object. I mean, at least in terms of visual fidelity, it's an ugly looking game, but it's a deliberate choice to use like PSX, you know, early 3D vector graphics. So probably mouthwashing because it's like I think artistically it's a lovely game, but yeah, it's got blocky 3D polygonal visuals, so it's probably that.
Trying to think of one that wasn't like that, where it's just like, they kind of swung and had a miss at whatever they were aiming for visually.
You know what? Actually, 1000X Resist is a bit like that, as in it's got like a nice art style, but I think they like it. It's not like mouthwashing where they're going for a specific kind of console generation aesthetic. It's just not a very good looking game. Like they're just, you know, it's just a low budget game. That would be a better example, I think, because that's where the choice of visuals being ugly isn't, to my mind, quite as deliberate as mouthwashing.
I'm going to go for Death Tank Spy. Death Tank Spy got a lot of hours out of me. It was a little secret mini game contained within Duke Nukem on the Sega Saturn.
Oh, nice.
There were two ways that you could get to play it. You either had to have a save file for Exhumed on your Saturn, so it was like a reward for having 2 3D Realms games, but they would let you have Death Tank Spy, or you had to destroy every toilet in Duke Nukem to unlock it as a mini game. But once you had it, it had like a blue sky, a yellow landscape, like primary color plane, and you controlled these trapezium tanks. So, but it played out as like a real-time Worms with a kind of Counter-Strike shop at the end of each round, depending on how well you did, so you could upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. And it was brilliant. So
sounds cool. And since you said Worms, I'm going to go backtrack and I'm going to say Worms.
I want someone to say Balan Wonderworld.
Yeah, if it was good. If it was good.
Someone in general, I'm sure. There's at least one person that loved it.
Asa?
I'm afraid not, no. Next, wait, I'm getting confused. Where's my questions? Someone's doing them. So the next one is from Cleo.
Are you doing the questions? Oh, there we go. I know her.
You do. Hello. What Nintendo games are you looking for? I'm
sorry. Say that again.
No, I've read it once.
Say that again.
No.
Okay. Say it again. Or Mocha. You could do it again. Okay. Mario Kart World?
Yeah, that's the one for me. I want Metroid Prime 4 as well. And I want to do the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild stuff that I missed from the previous gen. But
I'm clipping that hello out. Like, I'm clipping that out.
Well, I'm doing it to you because you just made the mistake of saying it out loud yourself.
Yeah, but I'm fine. That was like a weird. Anyway, I'm gonna do it. Anyways, you can't stop me. I'm gonna go with whenever the next Animal Crossing is coming out, because I get to do it with Cleo. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Luke?
Might be Bonanza of the stuff we know that's coming, and then just in terms of
the Donkey Kong one. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah, fuck off.
It's so good. In terms of that hasn't been announced, like the next Luigi's Mansion.
Ooh, that's a good shout.
That's gonna
Yeah,
look
that's nice.
really good on Switch too.
Yeah, Mario. It's such a Mario. God damn it, Tony's gonna kill me again. Mario. I forgot. Anyways, let's go. Let's keep going. Anything else?
Yeah, Pete, what game have you hated that had the best graphics? First time around, I really didn't like The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3 version, right? Because that was pushing that console as far as it would go, but I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot more in its later iterations, but fell off of that. Couldn't play it. It's kind of stealth bollocks.
I
Go
would
on.
say.
Go on. Go on.
Everybody's gonna fucking hate me. Listen, shut up, Sega. I'm gonna go with Uncharted. I think everybody's gonna hate me for that, but I don't.
The first one,
I don't care for all of them.
all of them.
I don't care about Uncharted, unfortunately. That's a little harsh. I think they're good games. It's just they're not connecting with me. Like when another one comes out, I'm just gonna kind of shrug it off until it's on sale or on PS Plus or something, you know. Whereas Last of Us, I completely will buy. Like I'll straight up buy The Last of Us next time. I guess it's the genre. I don't know. Something about it never really clicked with me.
Mario games, Mortal Kombat games, stealth games. Loads of them, actually, Pete. There's probably loads of games that have good graphics that I don't like. Luke?
I don't know if these don't really have good graphics, and you'll know what I mean. But like for the games that I actually really dislike / hate, you know, these are the best visual games, and that's Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. So
yeah,
just so
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Don't. I think it's like you, Gamzly, maybe with Uncharted and Last of Us, you know, 2 games by the same studio where you can give me like an Elder Scrolls and I'll love it. And I think that's probably to do with the fantasy setting because I'll really
it's the genre
vibe off that. But yeah, Fallout with the fucking brown, horrible yellow haze crap everywhere, like, and just like the shooting, like all of that.
Where you have to use bats.
Yeah,
you have to use bats, or it's terrible.
Just don't. And again, like you, like the next Fallout, I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I'll try and get into it, but invariably I'll probably be like, yeah, I don't like it. So.
But Elder Scrolls 6, you're gonna jump the fuck on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll be all over that. So yeah,
I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
I retract Last of Us because that wasn't my real answer. When there are so many games I dislike more.
What is it then? What is it?
Well, I've said Mario and stealth games and Mortal Kombat.
What, all Mario?
No, it's the 3D Marios.
3D Mario. Okay.
Yeah. Loads of stuff.
I liked your first answer better. Okay, so
yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. Tony has asked, always at me, says, what do you think Nintendo not letting reviews come out until after the release of the Switch 2, since there's a significant update day one patch? If this was a game, it would be destroyed. I've seen people saying they've got Switch 2s. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know this story. Do you know, have Nintendo put some embargo on people talking about the thing?
No, I don't think there's an embargo. I think that I'm not sure more if they won't get their units until basically day one because of this. Like, there's some software update that Nintendo want to do, like that's very significant apparently. So they're not promising any major outlets like a pre-build of the console before the release date. In the same way that some games drop day one, right, and then the reviewers have to pick it up immediately to review it. So I think that's what the story is, not that they're, embargoing as such.
They're going to need extra Haribo in their influenza boxes. Make up for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't, I mean, all of that stuff can have a very I don't know. It's hard to talk about that stuff. It could be slimy, could not be. It could be normal, it could not be. I don't know. I don't really care as long as the system's good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Next one is it's from Stephen Southwick. It says, if you could instantly change or add something to the gaming space today, what would it be? I would like the ability to trade digital games. Either of you.
That's a
jump
good
in.
one. That's a good one. Trade digital games is a good one, though. I think I'm gonna hop on that. Yeah, the ability to trade digital games is really awesome. Like what we thought Nintendo was gonna allow us to do in a broader sense. Like if I could just trade my game card with you and there's no real like downside to it, it would be quite fun and nice. But I don't think it could ever work.
I'm going for what we have but don't have. What's conceptually there and sometimes there, but not quite there enough. Crossplay. Because Power Stone didn't have crossplay. Elden Ring Night Rain doesn't have crossplay.
With anything? With anything?
None at all.
Like
no
not even PC, Xbox, nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
And it's one of those things that seem to be becoming the standard, and now people keep on releasing things that don't have it. I'm going to want to change that immediately because Night Rain in particular, like so many people want to play it on so many different platforms and want to play it together, and they're just sticking a thorn in my foot like bastards, making it awkward to arrange things. So that's what I want. And VR support, obviously, Abdo. Yeah, that's obviously the real answer. But yeah, anything else, Luke?
No, I like the trade games one, the digital stuff. That's a really good shout.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm struggling. Hold on. Struggling.
You're doing the questions.
No,
you're doing the questions.
What?
That's why
that's why it's
slow.
So
Get
janky,
Isla
and why I didn't want to. I don't want to take responsibility for something that's going badly. Abdel is us. Are we seeing something new from Marvel's Blade this E3? Oh, that's a good shout. I forgot that was happening. What do you reckon? We're going to see it? Arcane,
when did they announce it again? Was it like how long ago?
Sometime ago.
I think it was 2 years ago, was it not?
2 years?
Was it 2 years?
I forgot until this moment that it existed. So
it was at Game Awards, right? Or
it was at Game Awards, wasn't it? If I recall.
Yeah, 2013 apparently. TGA.
Well, I'm going to take the slimy way out and say no. There's no E3 this year, so we won't. It's gone. It's closed down forever.
We're not letting you do that. I think we should. I think we see it. Oh, that's a good show.
Maybe
June?
I remember reading at the time when it was announced that it was like super early stages of development. And now we're coming up to, what? How many years?
17.
Like, so 17 years. Yeah, it was 17 years later, so we should see it. But I don't know if it'll be far enough along to see any of it. I mean, I hope so. Like, I really, really hope so. Because like to get a kind of AAA Blade game is awesome. To get it from Arcane, and they're doing third person as well, which is fantastic. I actually would have been way less hyped if it was first person. So like, I really hope we see it. But I'm just not sure if we will.
I think there's a good chance to see something about it in the June showcase. Maybe. That could be a surprise. It could be interesting. It's their main team, right? At Arcane, doing it.
Leon. Yeah, Leon.
Yeah. So these guys are really awesome.
No.
Yeah. Unfortunately, rest in peace. But it's they're really fantastic at pushing out games. So we may I wouldn't be surprised if we see something cool about it. Also, we just shout out the fact that we got like an Indiana Jones from such a great studio, and now we're gonna get like a Blade from a great studio, two IPs that seem to be dormant. This is what I want to see more of. So as long as we see it and we see it soon, I'm glad. I'll be glad to see it whenever it pops up, because who would have thought about a AAA Blade game actually coming out and being good? Hopefully it is.
Indeed, right. Abdel has asked, Doom, The Dark Ages. This is his game of the year so far. What's yours? What's your game of the year so far? I have no memory. I'm sure I really enjoyed several games this year. But the most recent one that I played is South of Midnight. And that's the only game that I can remember for the year. I finished something just before that I really enjoyed.
Final Fantasy 1.
Final Fantasy 1 doesn't quite count as a release for this year, nor does Chrono Trigger.
Isn't it?
Power Stone, Chrono Trigger. Does it?
Yeah, it's not my favorite game of the year, but it released this year. Yeah, kinda.
Okay, so South of Midnight. You heard it here first.
There's something I liked more earlier this year, and I can't remember what. Doesn't matter.
There's no way you played that many games this year. That's crazy. I don't believe you. I'm going to say Blueprints right now really was nice. A nice calm experience for me as popping out. But I'm also really enjoying Doom right now, and it has a good potential to be my favorite as it goes right now, because it's my pace. It's and length, like it's really easy to get through as well. I'm going to stick to Blueprints at the moment, just because of the calming nature of it, and I needed that at this time period.
Yeah, mine's difficult because there's a bunch of games that I'm actively engaged in, but I've not finished, and I don't like to say which are my favorites or not until I've actually finished them. So I have to discredit a number of games as a result. But right now that I finished, it would be Look Outside, which is a Devolver Digital game, indie game, which I've spoken about before. That was a fantastic experience. If it keeps up the way that it is, then that crown will probably go to Expedition 33.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
For now, like Doom, I haven't played enough, so I can't put that in. But yeah, it will probably be that.
There's a fair chance. I haven't done it yet, but that appeals to me very much. Like Doom appeals to me very much, so those two could be battling it out once I've got through them both. But the real answer is Resident Evil 6. So next question is...
You like sound and music. I'm really interested in do you like classical music? Do you like piano and all that stuff, Asa? Or you're not that type of dude?
I'm not a music person at all. No, I like when games have good music, but I couldn't hold a proper discussion on actual music, classical or otherwise.
Because Expedition 33, like right when we did our first discussion on it, I shouted it out because everybody was talking about South of Midnight, but like this game, like Expedition 33 probably has a real chance of blowing away all the music stuff in the Game Awards, like for real. But yeah.
Well, good. James has asked, Final Fantasy XIV is the greatest MMO ever made. Change his mind.
Mm-hmm. No. It isn't. It's World of Warcraft. By far. Bye-bye. Okay?
I wouldn't say by far over that one. Great. They're the same game.
No. Yeah, they're great. Both of them.
And they both suck. Older MMOs before World of Warcraft redefined the genre were all better.
Man,
every single one of them.
I still don't understand. I still don't freaking understand how we haven't gotten like a modern MMO that's like as addictive. Maybe like the MMO audience is just not there anymore. And we're
Definitely.
too old to hop.
I want an MMO that doesn't have a cash shop. I don't mind paying a monthly subscription.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want a damn cash shop. And I don't want both. You can't have both. It's not fair. Pick your monetization model. Yeah, all of the above is the wrong option.
And a good freaking, like just a good economy in the auction houses again, you know, not anyways, I don't know. Well, can I just say one thing? Vanilla WoW had that huge economy with raids where you had to actually get resistance gear and all this stuff. So like armor smiths were actually valuable and potions were valuable, and it just helped the economy of that game and it made it so connective. MMOs nowadays just don't do that anymore, and it's sad, and they should go back. But anyway, one day.
James is throwing Elder Scrolls Online in there as his option for better than Final Fantasy. James, I don't know, you're the Final Fantasy man.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls did have its time in the sun with me, I will admit, but it just didn't grab me as much as the other ones. But again, it could have just been the era, right, that I was in, and I'm maybe not ready to give that much time again to another game. But yeah, Elder Scrolls did help me hold me for some time.
Yes, Quicksilver. No, Elder Scrolls Online isn't a cashless game. Come on now. It's got a shop all over the place. You have to buy the content packs and or subscribe and get a premium currency. Oh, James, you need to revisit that and look at the menus. Yeah, you get buffs and consumables and all sorts. You made me feel all for me. Fortunately, Quicksilver's there reminding me of Phantasy Star Online at the same time, so I feel good again. Right, next question.
Oh my God. Black Desert too. Black Desert as well was super amazing, but then they made everything pay to win and then took away all of the economy. So it just didn't make any sense anymore. Black Desert had a very good loop.
There you go. Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, that was a proper one. It wasn't one I got into very far, but it did just have a subscription model and nothing else going on. And very much a social game because it was very difficult to play on your own when it was fresh. Pete has asked, and this is a good question, gaming in the next 10 years, are we looking at a new golden age or a shitstorm? Great time for the industry, or were things better before? Ooh.
I think if, and we've mentioned it, well, I mentioned it many times, I think if we just realize that not all games have to either be giant open worlds or pay to win stuff or battle pass games, like if we could just get a healthy balance and the pendulum swings back just a little bit, I think we're in a golden age. Like we get a lot of insanely good content and there's a flood of it. Like before it wasn't really like that. So I think we just need a little bit of backward steps to get back to like truly a golden age.
Thank you, Pete, for the super chat. No supers tonight. Great show. Keep going. Wow, there is one now. Much appreciated. And thank you for the questions as well. For me, like we've obviously got a greater depth and breadth of content than we've ever had before in games. Graphics get better, systems get better, design gets better, it all gets smarter, and it all gets more commercial at the same time. So it is what you make of it, because if you are able to like slice off that layer of it and just play anything, you will find anything for every taste pretty much. So I'd say it's a golden age in that regard, but at the same time, through my own personal failings, there's something about the way games used to be that suited me better in a way. When there were less games and you put more into them. This is like a personal psychology or behavioral issue in how you engage with the games that you have. It used to be different when I had more time and less games, so that I'd get more out of each one. It was more delightful back then. But no, it's a golden age, Pete. There's so much to see and play and do and spend money on. But you, Luke?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I think some people have this like this really weird criticism of like, say, 2021 onwards for gaming and kind of deride it. And I don't really, this is all subjective, right? But I don't really know how anyone could reach that conclusion rationally, because I think if you look at like from 2021 up until now, I think this is probably one of the best periods in terms of quality of games that there's ever been in the industry. With you just coming off like 2023, which was just the Baldur's Gate year, Legend of Zelda, like all of that stuff, and then you had like a really strong year last year, and then this year could be like another all-timer. as you say, I think there's just like a breadth and depth to the games that are coming out. There's something for everyone. That, you know, indies are very strong, and like there are headwinds for the industry. Like there will have to be some adjustment, but I'm not too concerned about the next 10 years in gaming, really. I think though the industry, you know, like the last year or so, there's been a recalibration of these companies because they got way too optimistic.
Bullish.
And bullish because of COVID, and didn't really look at any kind of medium to long-term ramifications of when we came out of that period. And so that recalibration is, you know, has and is still happening now. Once that's done, the industry is still remarkably growing. So even within that setting, so there's no reason why it can't grow more, and why we can't still have amazing experiences and stuff. And ultimately, like, you just have to take the rough with the smooth with this, you know, any industry, but particularly gaming. Like, yeah, you know, there's a lot more multiplayer games or a lot more games focused on monetization, but then you still get just tons and tons of games, way more than you did even when those things didn't exist, arguably. So I think next 10 years will be fine. Like I said, some things are going to change slightly, and that, you know, some studios might have a slower cadence or whatever, but they'll be fine.
Pete and James are having a little super chat battle. So what's you what, Jammy, is what Pete is calling James. He loves being called Jammy. Everyone should do that. And James says, good show, lads. Remember, Pete started it, so I don't want either of them to starve, so I hope it's not an ongoing battle forever. You do. We have, though, come to the end of our questions, which means the speedrun show went for 2 hours, actually. I'm going to go to sleep immediately. So thank you, everyone, for coming through and listening to us and all the rest of it, as you always do. The support is appreciated. Just having people to talk to is brilliant. Gamzly, say to people what you're up to, or whatever you want to say. You know how it goes.
Okay, you're serious. Okay, because last time you kept passing it. Passing me. Thank you again for everything, guys. Good, lovely conversation about games. Games are fun, and we should do more of that. Join our Discord. We got some community nights every Friday and Sunday, and every second week we do a nice little D&D Discord game with the buddies. It's a fun time, so join our Discord, hit the like button, share it out, do all that good stuff. And follow us on all social platforms, you know, Gaming Arcadia, and obviously myself, Gamzly, TKD on Twitter, and other social media platforms. That's it. Thanks, Luke, and thanks, Pete, for starting a war.
Oh no, James is throwing his pub money out. Pete's not going to eat until next month now. We need to wrap it up before they do spend too much. Luke, say things to everybody.
Join the Discord. Good to be here as usual. Thanks, chat. Thanks, you two, as usual. And I'm going to go and cry at Expedition 33 or something now, probably. So,
because it's so difficult.
Because it's really tough.
Good.
Yeah, especially at the end.
Right. That's the end. So thank you, everybody. Like they both said, there is a Discord. We're there frequently talking about all kinds of games and stuff like that, as well as arranging to play things. So if you want to be part of it, then there's a link in the description. Just hit that and you'll be in there. And we'll see you next time.
You hold last.